The story starts in a realm far removed from modern life, where the protagonist finds himself reincarnated into a fantasy world that is less advanced than Earth. Upon awakening, he notices a peaceful atmosphere illuminated by candles instead of electric bulbs. This modest setting suggests that he was born into a humble family, a stark contrast to his previous orphaned life. He feels fortunate to have a beautiful and loving birth mother, indicating that his future romantic life may be uncomplicated. After 3 years, he catches a glimpse of the outside world for the first time and is captivated by its vastness. However, his adventure is cut short when the nanny discovers him and expresses concern about the Grand Duke's potential anger. This incident reveals his family's prominence as members of the esteemed Grand Duchy in the kingdom. As he grows older, he dedicates himself to studying swordsmanship, aspiring to become a knight in the kingdom. He dreams of possessing extraordinary abilities like sword ki and aura. Under the guidance of his mentor, Sir Gothic, a holy knight from the palace, his training begins. Leon, as he is called by Sir Gothic, is eager to learn from such a respected figure and expresses his gratitude for the opportunity. Amidst the rigorous training, there are moments that challenge his determination. During one challenging task, Leon was tasked with hauling a large boulder tied with ropes, which tested his strength and endurance. He began to question Sir Gothic's methods, feeling that they bordered on child abuse. Despite his frustrations, Sir Gothic pushed him to go further, demanding that he complete one more lap in their training. Through this experience, Leon came to understand that becoming a holy knight required immense dedication and skill, and that holy knights were formidable individuals. Qualifying as a holy knight involved rigorous quests, training, and the ability to be chosen by the Holy Grail and consume its holy water. As the son of Dragonia, he also had to acquire knowledge and skills to become the successor of the Grand Duke, adding to his already demanding responsibilities. Balancing his training to become a holy knight with his lessons on becoming a future Grand Duke proved to be a daunting task. With the weight of these responsibilities, Leon found himself yearning for salvation and seeking a way to be acknowledged by a higher power, despite not having a particular faith. At the age of 16, he embarked on a quest to gain the attention of the goddess and fulfill his dream of becoming a holy knight. He believed that accumulating fame and performing good deeds would lead to his ultimate recognition. During his journey, Leon encountered a burning village under attack by orcs. Witnessing the chaos and the pleas for help, he witnessed Sir Gildas calling upon the goddess for assistance. This sight solidified Leon's determination to make a difference and wield his sword against the kingdom's enemies. In a moment of righteous fury, Leon confronted the orc invaders and swiftly defeated one of them, despising their intrusion into the kingdom's territory. He realized that the kingdom had numerous enemies and that he needed to stand up and protect it. At the age of 20, Leon had a life-changing encounter that would shape his future. Leon had a profound encounter with the goddess Ariana, who recognized his lineage and entrusted him with a quest to test his honor and faith. Overwhelmed by this momentous occasion, Leon humbly accepted her orders and became a holy knight. He embarked on a journey where he fought and defeated countless enemies, including orcs, goblins, and an evil cult. Eventually, he rose to the position of a worn knight, gaining authority to gather other knights and leading them in battle. At the age of 35, tragedy struck when the renowned saint and demigod, Arjun Majesty, Lionheart, fell in battle against the Arctumans summoned by the Empire. The ongoing onslaught of orcs and rampaging demons served as a reminder of the importance of faith and belief in gods. Amidst the chaos, a new holy knight had to be elected to succeed the fallen king Lionheart, and the goddess Ariana descended to choose Leon for this role. Addressed as Holy Knight Leon Dragonia, Leon accepted his new responsibilities and vowed to become a symbol of honor and faith. He understood the weight of his position and the need to protect the kingdom's citizens and the knights who followed him. With the sacred treasure, the Lion Heart, bestowed upon him by the goddess, Leon vowed to protect the Holy Grail. Through these divine connections, he ascended to the esteemed positions of Grand Duke Dragonia and the King of the Lionheart Kingdom, taking on the mantle of leadership and safeguarding the realm. As time passed, Leon faced 3 major wars against the relentless orc forces, with the emergence of an Arctuman adding to the chaos. The Empire's questionable actions and affiliations with dark magicians and the Northern cult further complicated the situation. A concerned knight informed Leon of the Empire's enforced experimentation and their attempts to distance themselves from the divine order, fueling Leon's anger. In response to the Empire's actions, Leon swiftly commanded the gathering of the knights. At the age of 96, the Empire crossed a line by resorting to a heinous act, resulting in immense loss of life and the summoning of the Lord of Chaos. Leon, driven by determination and wielding the holy sword, rallied his knights to bring justice and restore order, leading them to confront the Empire. At the age of 121, Leon dedicated his efforts to protect the world from destruction, but ultimately failed to prevent its demise. Despite his valiant attempts, he found himself unable to halt the relentless advance of the forces of evil. In the face of this destruction, Leon was approached by a knight named Sir Aaron, who respected him and acknowledged his father's honor in joining the feast of the gods. Leon addressed his troops, urging them to focus on the villains who had caused them so much pain and suffering. He acknowledged the fear within their hearts and the devastation that had consumed the world. Seeking guidance from the goddess, Leon rallied his army, reminding them to fight with honor and assuring them of the goddess's presence. With unwavering conviction, Leon and his army engaged in the final battle against the overwhelming demon forces. They fought fiercely, using sacrificial shields and falling. With honor alongside the glorious knights, Leon, as the chosen agent of the gods and holy temples, stood alone and defeated numerous demon lords and archdemons, showcasing his true power as a holy knight. As the years passed, Leon faced the last remaining demon gate at the age of 256. He declared that the demons were now trapped with him and vowed to eliminate every single one of them. Leon faced the demons with anger, labeling them as bastards. At the age of 300, Leon triumphed over a powerful archdemon with a single stroke. Section Chief Kim and Hari, witnessing this feat, were amazed and questioned Leon about his identity. Leon introduced himself as King Lionheart, the Knight of the Glorious Knights and the agent of the Holy Temples. Surprised by Leon's naked appearance, Neri looked on in shock. It had been 300 years since Leon encountered people from Earth, and a notification suddenly appeared, indicating the defeat of all the demons, and thus the Night King had returned. A mysterious gate emerged in Seoul, emanating an unidentified black aura. The Korean Hunter Association and the World Hunter Association urgently sought the help of the nation's large guilds to raid the gate. However, due to the gate's unknown difficulty level, the requests were denied. As a result, the government ordered the Korean Hunter Association to take the lead, effectively issuing an execution order. Inside the gate, Hari encountered a naked man surrounded by countless dead demons. Startled, she was approached by Kim Jin-soo, the head manager of the Korean Hunter Association, who offered her a cup of coffee, acknowledging her fatigue. They discussed the skepticism surrounding their accounts of the gate's contents, considering its black rank status and the presence of the powerful Great Devil. Despite the odds, Hari and her team successfully cleared the gate without the assistance of other guilds, which was seen as a miraculous feat. Leon, the man they encountered inside the gate, played a significant role in their success. Hari and Kim observed the ongoing interrogation of Leon from outside the interrogation room. Occasionally, survivors managed to return from the gate realm, where similar gates had appeared worldwide over the past 30 years. These gates represented worlds on the verge of destruction or already destroyed. Survivors retained incredible strength acquired in the demon realm upon their return to Earth. Recognizing their value, the government made efforts to accommodate their needs and devised plans to recruit them. Hari stressed the importance of investigating the survivors, particularly the person they were currently interrogating, due to his extraordinary strength. Kim agreed, recognizing the life-threatening risks even an A-rank hunter would face when confronting a high-ranking demon. However, Leon had effortlessly defeated the Great Devil, a monster feared even by the most skilled S-rank hunters. Kim expressed concern about potential cultural differences, given the way Leon referred to himself, hinting at possible royalty or similar status. Despite Kim's concerns, Hari remained optimistic, believing that everything would be fine. When Kim questioned the basis for her optimism, she explained that she could sense it in Leon's voice, perceiving him as genuinely good. However, their conversation was abruptly interrupted when Leon unleashed a powerful shout, shattering the immense glass window of the interrogation room. Both Hari and Kim were shocked by the display of raw power, realizing that even the supposedly unbreakable glass meant to contain formidable beings had been shattered. Leon stood up and criticized those present for tarnishing the esteemed Lionheart name. Observing the chaotic scene, Kim questioned Hari's earlier statement about Leon being a very good person. Hari, taken aback by the unexpected turn of events, attributed it to a cultural difference, unsure how to explain Leon's outburst. 15 minutes earlier, Leon sat in the interrogation room, reflecting on his unfamiliar surroundings. He acknowledged that feeling foreign was to be expected, considering his past experiences. As an orphan, he struggled through his 20s and eventually died from exhaustion. After being reincarnated into another world, he became a king and knight of a kingdom for over a century. Following his conquest of the demon world, he spent 200 years hunting demons, totaling 300 years in total. Despite the differences, Leon found some comfort in having memories of this place. His thoughts were interrupted by a bald officer who sat in front of him and addressed him as Leon Dragonia Lionheart. Leon realized that revealing his previous life as an earthling wouldn't benefit him. Instead, he believed it would be more advantageous to present himself as a night king who had lived for 300 years in the otherworld, rather than a young man who died from overworking himself. Thus he responded in an authoritative tone, instructing the officer to refer to him as Your Majesty and disrespectfully calling the bald officer a peasant. Initially puzzled, the bald officer quickly complied with Leon's request. Leon wondered if the officer's compliance stemmed from genuine kindness or if the government had specific protocols for dealing with survivors like him. The officer then asked about the Black Gate and whether Leon had killed all the demons. Leon confirmed that he had indeed eliminated all the demons and protected the honor of the knights. He temporarily assigned the role of his secretary to the officer, granting him the privilege of documenting this glorious incident. The sweating bald officer struggled to maintain composure and mumbled his agreement. In his reflections, Leon concluded that the cultural differences were the reason for his unconventional behavior. He expressed his concern about the absence of etiquette rules for treating royalty in this world. Understanding Leon's hunger, the bald officer promptly arranged a meal for him. Curious about the current state of the world, Leon asked the officer to provide an explanation, wanting to understand what had happened on Earth during his absence. The officer began explaining the events that occurred 30 years ago when gates started opening worldwide, releasing monsters and demons onto Earth. Since then, the world has been in a constant state of emergency. After suffering significant losses, they discovered that each gate had a specific theme and associated quests. They also realized that leaving a gate unattended would lead to a dungeon break, where monsters would invade Earth. As the officer heard a knock on the door, he excused himself to retrieve the meal. In his absence, Leon contemplated the difference between the demon invasions in his world and this world. In his world, demons appeared abundantly, but in this world, there were structured gates with themes and quests. It seemed as though the purpose of these gates was to train humans through trials. Upon the officer's return, he informed Leon that the meal was ready. When Leon saw the meal, a bone broth known as seoliangtang topped with salt, pepper, and crunchy kimchi, he recognized it as a comforting dish from his time as a laborer on Earth. Although people generally prefer familiar food over new dishes, Leon forced himself to suppress his saliva. In an angry tone, he questioned the officer about the dish, demanding to know what it was. The officer explained that it was seoliangtang, known as the soul food of peasants. Leon's anger flared up, and he unleashed his fury by forcefully punching a table. Shouting at the officer, he criticized him for serving him a dish associated with peasants, tarnishing the honorable Lionheart name. Leon identified himself as a royal from the otherworld, a proxy for the gods, guardian of the Holy Grail, and the owner of the holy blade and spear. He dismissed the officer as an inferior peasant and ordered him to leave. Leon was the incarnation of the history of the 300-year war, a returner who used to be an earthling. Upon his return to Earth, he perceived everything as chaotic and attributed it to the lack of proper religious faith. He saw it as his duty, as a member of the royal family, to enlighten the foolish peasants. Despite returning to Earth, he still considered himself a night king. With grace, Leon skillfully cut into his steak and enjoyed it with elegance. Kim observed his actions attentively, fascinated by his ability to differentiate their meal of chicken and black bean noodles. Hari, feeling relieved, remarked that Leon was actually savoring a T-bone steak accompanied by a 1993 red wine. Kim suggested that Leon might be more interested in Hari herself, considering the compliment she received for her bravery and the fact that he didn't dismiss her outright. Hari, slightly disappointed, clarified that Leon had only praised her for her courage. Summoning her courage, Hari opened the door and interrupted Leon's meal to apologize deeply. Wiping his mouth with a cloth, Leon recognized Hari as the swordsman from before and instructed her to sit. Hari, wearing a delighted expression, secretly signaled her triumph to Kim through the security cameras. As Hari took a seat, she asked if the meal met Leon's expectations. Leon admitted that it wasn't bad and appreciated the chef's sincerity and skill. However, he clarified that his initial treatment of them was not solely because of the simplicity of the food, but rather their attitude toward royalty. According to Leon, when greeting foreign royalty, proper respect and protocol should be observed to reflect the stature of their own country. Taken aback, Hari realized her lack of knowledge had led to unintentional disrespect on her part. Leon asked if her name was Han, and she confirmed that her name was Han. Hari. Leon mentioned that he had heard about this world and the appearance of demons that had infiltrated Earth. Hari acknowledged his statement, affirming the presence of demons. Unbeknownst to Leon, Hari's mission was to persuade him to join the Hunter Association. Realizing the importance of convincing him to align with their country, she raced through her thoughts. Determined, she proposed that if Leon granted them his royal permission, the South Korean government would take responsibility for his well-being. From that point onward, in the ongoing intelligence war of the 21st century, their objective was to recruit survivors and prevent them from joining other nations. Curious about the terms of settling in this world, Leon questioned whether it would be his duty to enter the battlefield as an honorable knight. Filled with hope, Hari asked if he would consider affiliating himself with their Hunters Association. However, Leon's expression turned resolute as he stated that a king could not serve as a soldier in another nation's military. Instead, he declared his intention to establish a new knight's order within this world. Hari was taken aback by Leon's decision, leaving her no choice but to silently agree. She then turned to Kim with an urgent question, seeking information from their superiors about the situation they were facing. Kim informed her that there wasn't much they could say but emphasized the importance of providing as much support as possible. Frustrated, Hari expressed her relief that Leon hadn't aligned with another country or a powerful guild, as it was disheartening to see their government-affiliated association bow down to him. She blamed the large guilds, who flaunted their wealth and influence, for the current state of affairs. Their conversation was interrupted by the sudden sound of an alarm, startling both Hari and Kim. They quickly checked their mobile devices and received an urgent system notification about a dungeon break occurring at the Honam Plains. Kim explained that if a dungeon break happened at a granary location, it would disrupt food production due to the influx of demonic energy. Hari suggested that the S-rank hunter Lee Yongwon from the Phoenix Guild would be able to handle an orange-colored gate without difficulty. However, Kim suspected that the guild members might have a different plan in mind and felt a sense of urgency to prevent a catastrophe. He expressed his frustration and cursed the Phoenix Guild. Unbeknownst to Hari and Kim, Leon, who had been listening attentively behind the door, understood the gravity of the situation. He recognized that a dungeon break would infect the ground and hinder crop growth. Sensing something in his surroundings, Leon directed his thoughts towards someone named Demira, asking about their well-being. Somewhere, a girl in green clothes looked back and smiled. When they arrived at the location of the dungeon gate, someone questioned Hunter Lee Yongwon about the situation. Lee Yongwon, the S-rank hunter and guild master of the Phoenix Guild, recognized Section Chief Kim and the rookie Han Hari. Kim realized that Lee Yongwon had deliberately allowed the dungeon break to happen as retaliation for their rejected request. The Phoenix Guild had persistently sought a tax exemption for the profits obtained from gates. They had already benefited significantly from the byproducts such as magic, crystals, and monster materials, but desired exemption from a 1 trillion tax. Kim understood that the guild's actions were a direct response to their request being turned down. Hari, determined to resolve the situation, urgently urged Lee Yongwon to close the gate immediately, emphasizing the dire consequences if it remained open even for a week. However, Lee Yongwon nonchalantly acknowledged the urgency but claimed that his guild members were gravely injured, making it difficult to launch a raid in their current state. He suggested attempting it the following day but expressed uncertainty about what would happen by then. Enraged, Hari shouted at Lee Yongwon, questioning his lack of patriotism. Kim tried to intervene, but Hari continued, highlighting the potential devastation of the Honan Plains, became infected. Li Yongwen dismissed her concerns with an evil smirk, claiming ignorance and mocking her for being childish. He reminded Hari that he had mentioned this in the previous year's draft. In that moment, Hari realized that in this world, justice equated to money and power. Amid the escalating tensions between Hari, Kim, and Li Yongwen, Leon stepped in and expressed his disdain for Li Yongwen's shallow and outdated mindset. Hari turned back, in surprise, addressing Leon as Leon, Your Majesty. However, Leon quickly reprimanded her, instructing her to refer to him by his title alone. Li Yongwen was taken aback by Leon's words and inquired about his identity, noting his Western appearance. However, Leon silenced him, expressing his anger towards Li Yongwen's audacity to speak from a position of low standing. Li Yongwen, one of the world's 20 S-rank hunters and the guild master of a top 10 guild, was shocked and infuriated by Leon's words, questioning how he dared to consider him as lowly. In a show of his power, Li Yongwen began gathering fire in his hand, ready to attack, but Hari pleaded with him to stop, revealing that Leon was a survivor. This revelation surprised Li Yongwen, and his attitude swiftly changed as he humbly introduced himself as Li Yongwen from the Phoenix Guild. He speculated that Leon might have come from the gray-colored guild. Before Li Yongwen could continue, Leon interrupted him, stating that a king does not repeat himself. He then turned to Kim and Hari, urging them to provide a concise summary of the problem since he was unfamiliar with the details of the gate. Hari and Kim couldn't help but feel hopeful, their faces lighting up with smiles, wondering if Leon was going to offer his assistance. Hari explained to Leon that the problem was a dungeon break, which resulted in the release of a large amount of demonic energy that infected the land, hindering crop growth. The Honan Plains, an important granary, made the situation critical. Hari emphasized the need to purify the infected land, clear the dungeon, and eliminate the threat entirely. Leon understood the nature of the problem, a land infection and the growth of the gate. He decided to take personal action, but acknowledged that as a foreign king, he couldn't engage in military activities in another nation's territory without permission. He insisted on receiving approval from the local king before proceeding. Hari expressed her willingness to proceed without seeking permission, but Leon reminded her that there were legitimate processes and rules to follow. He questioned her commitment to being an honorable knight if she didn't abide by the laws of her own nation. Hari looked at him helplessly, realizing the importance of following proper protocol. Meanwhile, Li Yongwen observed Leon in shock, realizing that Leon's approach was even more audacious than his own. Eventually, they decided to seek permission from the president. The president, who was aboard a plane, received a call regarding the urgent matter. Hari approached Leon with a doll in her hand and addressed him as Your Majesty. She informed him that she had made the preparations as instructed but questioned how they planned to use the doll. Leon responded, stating that they needed to use the straw doll to purify the infected land. The doll had a specific condition. It had to be made by women who had given birth. Hari confirmed that the wives had made the dolls, and Leon expressed his approval, requesting to see the dolls that were made. Unexpectedly, a doll-making competition commenced in the middle of the plains. Leon examined one of the dolls with a serious expression and then looked at the woman who had crafted it. He deemed it impossible and proceeded to destroy the doll, criticizing it as a metaphysical eccentric body. The attempt resulted in failure. Filled with frustration, Leon destroyed another doll and expressed disappointment with the results. Each subsequent attempt with the dolls ended in failure as he discarded them, one by one. He destroyed Hari's doll and berated her for not meeting the condition of having given birth. However, among the participants, the 89th woman, an elderly married woman, caught Leon's attention. As he looked at her doll, he exclaimed in amazement, recognizing its exceptional quality. He inquired about the number of children she had given birth to, and she proudly replied, 12. Leon praised her as a true patriot, acknowledging the significance of her role in bringing life into the world. He kissed her hand and expressed regret for not being able to personally reward her with a medal and gift due to the situation at hand. The elderly woman responded with a joyful laugh, seemingly satisfied with the recognition she received. Leon then proceeded to the fields and placed the doll on a wooden table surrounded by candles, declaring that the conditions had been met. He retrieved an antique cup from his inventory and placed it on the table. As he called upon the mother of the abundant land, he presented the doll as an offering of harvest and requested its acceptance. To everyone's surprise, as the empty cup was placed on the table, it started filling up with water on its own. The water overflowed from the cup and floated in midair. The scene resembled the rising sun casting a red light on the clouds, symbolizing the beginning of a new and significant day for the world. However, today's sunrise marked a special start in this world. The floating water droplets entered the doll, leaving the spectators astonished. Suddenly, the doll stood on its own, and a voice addressed Leon as Lionheart. He respectfully bowed and greeted the Mother Earth, Demira, the deity of life and abundance. Demira acknowledged Leon and expressed that it had been a while since their last encounter. That day marked the descent of divinity upon this land. Chapter 4. Leon greeted Demira, the divine being who governed life and fertility. Demira sensed the presence of evil and contamination in the land. Leon acknowledged this and expressed concern about lowly individuals sullying her presence. Demira explained that ignorance and greed were inherent traits of mortals and not always sins. She inquired about Leon's plans to address the situation. After considering, Leon stated that he could blend in among swordsmen, but believed that the authority of a conqueror was divine. He aimed to balance duty and authority, guiding the ignorant and paving the way for a new pantheon on Earth. Impressed by Leon's determination, Demira offered her assistance. Leon expressed concern for the suffering caused by evil energy and requested her help in healing and purifying the land. Demira affirmed Leon as the head of her temple and their champion. She intended to spread her divinity and make everything on Earth his ally. As Demira used her divinity on the land, it glowed with a golden light, capturing everyone's attention. Leon urged them to watch and learn, criticizing their ignorance of divinity's blessings. He emphasized the righteous duty of all beings to give birth and prosper, exemplified by the fertile earth as an eternal promise. However, Li Yongwen expressed frustration and warned about potential dangers of magically grown crops, suggesting they could be poisonous. Leon dismissed his concerns as ignorant and asserted that the crops were blessed with divinity. He warned Li Yongwen not to disrespect the goddess. Frustrated, Li Yongwen sought to expose what he believed were Leon's lies and insisted on proving the safety of the crops for the people's sake. He appointed an appraiser to examine the crops, but the appraiser's shocked reaction indicated something unexpected. The appraiser revealed that the crops were blessed rice, a rare-ranked crop blessed by Demira's divinity, capable of curing Tier 3 diseases and even cancer. Hari and the others were astonished by the revelation, and the appraiser confirmed its truth. Kim quickly requested a pot to cook the blessed rice. Once the rice was cooked, Kim took a bite and was amazed by its effects. Consuming the rice increased stamina, recovery rate by 100 per minute, and mana recovery rate by 50 per minute for 8 hours, comparable to a valuable enhancer item. Excitedly, Hari shared a significant discovery. After swallowing her food, she had eaten a bug out of curiosity and unexpectedly received a buff. Everyone was shocked by this and looked at Hari in disbelief. Kim realized that the blessings present all over the land explained Hari's buff, and he ordered them to gather as many bugs as possible to enter the gate with full buffs. The Hunter Association's raiding team became highly motivated and started catching bugs. Demira addressed Leon as a child and expressed her intention to depart, having fulfilled her purpose. Leon thanked her and promised to remember her divine love. Demira advised Leon to feed himself before imparting a final lecture. Hari approached Leon and asked about the situation. Leon explained that it was the work of divine power and questioned whether their world had no gods. He emphasized the importance of divine power in building a proper life and world. With the soldiers replenished, Leon declared their readiness to proceed to the gate for the upcoming mission. Li Yongwen cursed Leon for disrupting their plans and expressed a desire for his death inside the gate. Suddenly, Li Yongwen had a cunning idea and laughed. He revealed that the gate they were about to enter had already been partially raided now. Realizing the alarming situation, Li Yongwen explained that there was only one A rank, Hunter, Hari, among them. He speculated that Leon was a blessing-type buffer with limited combat skills, suggesting their mission would fail. There was a powerful monster inside the gate that couldn't be defeated using ordinary means. A system notification warned of the beginning of the dungeon break, signaling imminent danger of death for all living beings inside the gate that is worrisome for everyone equally.